Time to leave Yourdamung with an interesting day ahead of us. We don't actually know what's going to happen. We've been told by some sources that there's a diversion when we get close to Harris Dam, but we're not too sure how it's actually going to affect us. It should really be a fairly short walking day today, almost a rest day ahead of a 22 kilometre day tomorrow to get into Collie, but we won't really know what's happening, I guess, until we get closer to it and see what signage and what sort of prohibited area is in vogue for today. So at the moment we're just going to start walking. Beautiful day again, plenty of sunshine, quite brisk again the air, and once again very still, no breeze around. So we'll wait for a little while to see what the issue is when we get closer to Harris Dam, which is supposed to be our destination for tonight. Been a little bit of a tough day today, certainly not physically. It's a flat stage and we're not travelling very far, but I've received some news from back home that from a family health point of view. So not a lot of filming so far today, and that's been occupying my mind. I'm a day out from Collie and I've really got to make a decision about whether to keep going or whether to return home. I know it's tough on Jude, she supports me either way, but yeah, it sort of takes away from the beauty and the serenity of the bush today when your mind is sort of ticking over all the time. But hopefully I'll get the good night's sleep that I didn't get last night and be able just to reassess things tomorrow. But if need be, when I get to Collie, if I have to go home, then so be it. That's the way it is. No need to use the wooden logs and the stumps, because there is no water flowing down the creek. You can just walk straight through. Here we are at Harris Dam. There was no diversion in place in the end. No signage anyway. No sign of anybody. So here we are. Harris Dam. Our hut or campsite for the night, depending on who ends up being here.
Welcome to Jude's Tech Talk. After 7 days in the bush, my hair is looking a bit attractive, but at least I can eat. So here's my jet boil. I've had quite a few jet boils, and this one is a jet boil minimo, which means it's shorter and fatter, which means it's easier to cook without burning the bottom. A lot of people like different forms of cooking. I just like this because everything's in one. You've got a measuring thing, and you can use it a cup at the bottom. You've got a lid. You normally have in here legs that stop the gas canister from moving, but I don't bother with that. And then this is in here so it doesn't move. And you have the gas. And this one actually has a regulator, which means it's not just about boiling water. You can actually change the amount of gas coming through. That opens up. Screw it on. Handles come out. Got a protective cover on. Clips on and twists, which means it's not going to fall off, which is another one of the reasons I like the jet boil, is that I don't have to balance something that's going to easily get knocked over. Very simple, weighs about 400 grams, something like that. I also do carry a bigger canister as well, but for me, I've been using jet boils for about probably 15 years and they work for me, but whatever works for you is the way to go.
Well, 10 minutes to sunset on day 20 of our adventure. It's funny how things go really when you're hiking. Yesterday we did about 24 Ks, which was our biggest of the hike so far. Now I know a lot of people are doing 40 and 50 kilometre daily limits, but we're not doing that. We're not double hutting except what we did in the very early stages. But yesterday I felt physically absolutely terrific. Today we only did about 14 Ks and it was a real struggle, even though it was a very flat day. I think our elevation today was only about 167 metres. So we got into camp here very early at Harris Dam, not long after midday in fact. And after I'd had some soup for lunch that Jude had very kindly made, I blew up the mattress and went up onto the top bunk here behind me and actually had 2 or 3 hours just laying down and dozing on and off. So, as I mentioned earlier today, a tough day mentally in regard to some issues at home, family health-wise. Don't know whether that added to the fact that I felt physically fatigued, but I do feel a lot better now, especially after a second hot chocolate. So time to turn in, and then tomorrow we head to Collie, our second town so far, and proceeding a day of total rest. So looking forward to that. So goodbye now from Harris Dam. About 6:30 in the morning and we've just set off from Harris Dam. I had a terrific sleep last night, had to actually take a sleeping tablet because the last couple of nights sleep has been very fitful, spending most of the time awake laying in my sleeping bag. Only Jude and myself in the hut last night, and I was able to ring home before bedtime, and my wife assures me that everything's okay and that I should stay on the track and try to complete this walk all the way to Albany. Today's a town day. We get into Collie hopefully mid-afternoon because the tourist bureau there closes at 4. We want to pick up our supply bag and our bounce bag, and then we're going to have a nice shower in our hotel, and then we're having a dinner tonight with our newly made New Zealand friends Vicky and Greg, so really looking forward to that. But after a couple of days of, I guess, uncertainty as to what the future held, it looks a lot brighter now, and with my family's assurance that everything will be okay without me there, it's onward and upward. So today's rolling terrain pretty much, 22 kilometres. Shouldn't be too taxing on the legs after a good night's sleep and an early arrival yesterday at Harris Dam. So the day ahead of us, a town day, which is always nice when you're hiking. Very cruisy first 4 kilometres this morning, given the quality of the track and very small undulations. And this is the overflow area for Harris Dam. There's the dam wall up in the distance. But again, a beautiful calm morning makes this quite majestic. Birds in the background. A lovely body of water, especially at this hour of the morning. Rather important piece of architecture, if you like, along the Bibbulmun Track, because back in 1997 this was where they had the official opening of the realigned northern part of the Bibbulmun. You can hear the water, and off in this direction a lovely panorama again onto the overflow area of the Harris Dam. And this is quite a pretty place along the track, especially with the sound of the water just bubbling its way through the rocks below. Well, imagine if the whole track was like this, a boardwalk, although it would be better of course if it didn't have massive holes in it. But anyway, we get to Collie in no time walking like this. Pretty much on the outskirts of Collie now, and they've done a terrific job around here in recent times to try and improve the area in regard to tourism and visitors. And one of the things they've done is put in a lot of mountain bike trails, and this is one of them. So you can either go on the far lap or you can go on the blue one. Now the far lap one is to the left, which we have chosen to use, well, pretty much as a no through zone. So if they come along, we're going to have to hurriedly move, because this is it here. If you were young, adventurous and had good life insurance, you could come riding straight over that. Problem is you'd hit Jude and her coffee making facility, because that's where she is operating at the moment. We've done 8Ks and we thought it was too good an opportunity to pass up. We'll hear the mountain bikers coming from quite some distance away. But I have to say, Jude, that's about the easiest 8Ks we've had so far on the Bib. It was magnificent.
Yes, the one between
Yourdamung.
Yeah, that was also an easy one, but this was lovely. And Harris Dam was beautiful.
Harris Dam is quite spectacular, and again the still morning meant that the water was like glass. Anyway, I've done enough filming. It's time
Tea!
to have, well, you're having tea, I'm having a freshly brewed coffee. The weather looks like it might just be on the turn, so we've whacked the rain covers on our packs. Probably unnecessary, but it's better to do it when you've had a break rather than having to have a second break. So we've got them on. Hopefully they will get to Collie without any rain falling on the back of it. Very sound advice indeed.
Look left, look right, look left again, and proceed with caution.
There you go, folks. That's how you cross a train line. And for the first time in many a long day, we're seeing actual farmland. Some horses going in the distance as well. Getting closer to Collie with every step. 8 kilometres from Collie now, our second rest day tomorrow, which means a hotel room tonight. And Judith, is it too early to talk about our carrot cake and cappuccino this afternoon? 8 Ks.
Be quiet.
And watch where you're going, obviously. I think it's too early to talk about it.
Well, you saw the reaction of the carrot cake word.
Okay.
No.
Right,
It was a honky nut.
let's just keep walking then, shall we? I think that's probably safer. I'll ask again down the track.
No, please don't.
If I remember. Okay, I'm going to try my luck one more time. 5 kilometres to go, Jude. Cappuccino, carrot cake. Any response? Okay, I take that silence as, can you please shut up? Oh, 2 cappuccinos. No, knowing you, 2 slices of carrot cake. Not long to go now. 3 kilometres. Still keep it to myself?
Yep.
Okay then. Collie town site to the right. Bibbulmun Track north. And over here we have Bibbulmun Track south. So we're just trying to ascertain whether this is actually the trailhead where we have to come back to continue. Jude's on the case.
Yes, it is.
And yes, it is, she tells us. So this is the point we have to come back to continue on Tuesday.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool.
So
Bye for now.
we're going to the Collie town site. Come with us, folks. Closest accommodation we actually do have to get back to the trailhead after our rest day tomorrow. So, here we are, the Collie Ridge Motel. Reception, dead ahead. Open it up.
Well, you've got the key.
Oh yeah, well, in case of emergency, break glass.
This is like a real room. We had like a hut.
Yes. Well, dwelling up, yes. Here we are.
Oh.
As always, cape to cape. Anywhere we've gone, double bed's yours. I'm on my place in society. I'm over near the window in the single. But this actually looks like civilization. Just wandered a short distance down from the hotel to the Collie Visitor Centre, where I'm about to go in and pick up our bounce box and also our resupply box, which we can organise tomorrow before we head off on Tuesday. So back on the trail, leaving the Collie Ridge Resort. We've got to do 2.4 kilometres. We're actually going to backtrack along the path that we took from the trailhead coming in. So we've got 2.4 k's backtracking out of town, and then we turn south and make our way down towards Yabberup today. We're not totally sure of the distance. We think it's going to be somewhere around 21 and a half kilometres, but it depends on what the 2.4 kilometre spur trail coming into town, whether that's added into the info we've got or not. But either way, it's going to be probably 22 k's. We're not making an early start. It's about 7:15. We've had a nice full breakfast in the restaurant of the hotel, although it didn't quite go according to plan, the hotel. Last night Jude went to have a hot shower and there was no hot water. When we rang reception, we found out that all the rooms in the hotel had a gas issue. We were looking forward to a nice meal in the beautiful restaurant there. The menu looked terrific, but unfortunately with the gas out they couldn't serve. So we had to make our way in the end for about a 2 kilometre walk through the city or town before we found a Chinese restaurant, which was very nice, but we would have preferred to actually eat in the restaurant at the place where we were staying. Good morning. But for now, we're on the road, quite literally, right alongside it, on a footpath down towards the start of the track, if you like, that makes its way back up to the trailhead. Looking forward to it, Judith?
Not this bit.
No, it's pretty uninspiring, but you've got to start somewhere, and this is where we're starting today.
Oh, it's better than a K down the track.
That's true.
That's why I picked the hotel closest to the trailhead.
Yes, you did very well as always. Anyway, soon we'll be on a little bit softer ground. We are back where we were a couple of days ago. This is the trail. Yeah, very good. Yes, that's the direction where it says south. So Bibbulmun south. So now we're going into uncharted territory, back at the top of the trailhead, having come back out of the town site. So now where we're going is where we've never been before. We're now walking on part of the Bibbulmun Trail, which is where we did a bit of a training walk around Wellington Dam a couple of months ago. It wasn't actually fully completed, but some of the scenery around an area called Potter's Gorge, which is a very popular camping ground on Wellington Dam, was quite unbelievable. It felt quite primeval in an area that gets very little sun. All the trees were covered in moss, fungi everywhere. So this is a little part of it before we'll deviate off again and go proper onto the Bibbulmun Track. This is still part of the Bibbulmun, of course, but just tracking along with the Bibbulmun Billy at the same time. We've got a swing here over the Collie River, not far from the bridge we're going to cross, and pack and all. This will make entertaining viewing, folks. Jude's going to go up to the top. Now, you can see...
That's enough.
That's enough. Have a look at this, folks. Look how high you can go up and then swing off that bit of rope. And the water, as we can see, actually is pretty deep in midstream here. So you can then throw yourself out and have a bit of fun. But today's not the day. If it was warmer, you'd do it, Jude, wouldn't you?
Not that high, no. I would have like little kittens.
It's a long way up.
I reckon I could get to here.
To there? That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. It might be higher than I'd be willing to go. Anyway, down in the distance, that's the bridge we've got to cross shortly. Just crossed the Collie River, and probably in the last day or so, as we've gotten closer to Collie, 2 or 3 days ago, before the rest day, we've actually moved into a different area as far as the Noongar tribes are concerned. There are 14 tribes that make up the Noongar nation, and we're now have moved out of the Whadjuk people's land, which is primarily up around the Perth area and down towards the very outskirts of Collie, and we're now in the Bibbulmun people area. Hence we saw the signs for the Bibbulmun Bilia not that long ago. Bilia meaning water, Bibbulmun, they are the people, the traditional tribe around this particular area. So we've left the Whadjuk people and now we're with the Bibbulmun people. When we get down further, down towards Boat Harbour, we move to the third group of indigenous tribes, if you like, that we wander through all the way down the Bibbulmun Track. Don't think there'll be a lot of filming in the last 4Ks in the run into the camp, because it has actually started to rain reasonably heavily in the last 20 minutes or so. We've got the ponchos on now, as well as the rain covers on the backpack. So we're trying to expedite our arrival at the campsite. You can see here the water that's fallen fairly heavily in the last 20 or so minutes. It's a rather hot and steamy last half a kilometre with the rain that's been around, and coming out of a little valley is very, very humid. But here we are. We have reached Yabberup hut, and we've travelled just over 20 kilometres to get here.